Guy from Europe. You think of the Russian, you think about Rocky.
He certainly is big.
Now he's got to see if he can fight.
Referee is Joe Cortez.
He looked good against Axel Schultz, what I saw. Had that jab working pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good win for him. But of course he has that loss back in '98 to Ross Purity.
That's not such a good one.
No, that's not quite as good.
Klitschko ran out of gas in that fight. He said he was still making the transition from the amateur style to the pro style. Klitschko has been in Germany for the last 2 years, and when he went to Germany from the Ukraine, he did not speak a lick of German. Now he's fluent in German and studying English, so he wants to make himself global. This is his second fight in the United States. His other fight in the U.S. came in Louisiana on August of 1998, right here on Friday Night Fights. 6-round knockout of Carlos Monroe. There you see the knockout ratio. 9 of Klitschko's knockouts have come in the first round.
Klitschko's a straight-up European-type guy, and that can be dangerous sometimes with a guy like PhilJackson, who's a pretty good banger. One thing he can do is he can punch, and sometimes he can throw the kind of punches that can land if you're standing straight up, those looping-type hooks and looping right hands. The problem with Jackson is sometimes he's not always there to fight.
Jackson brought in his old trainer, Pat Burns, back into the fold within the last week. Burns helped guide Jackson to a 25-0 record and a world championship shot. And eventually he went down the tubes.
You know, Teddy, PhilJackson is dangerous. He can hit. He lost to Monty Barrett recently, earlier in this year, I believe it was. But let's be honest, if you can't beat PhilJackson at this point in Klitschko's career, it doesn't bode well for the future. He should not only win here, but dominate tonight, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he would want to do that, obviously, but he's got that loss to Ross Purity. And, of course, Ross Purity is just a good, solid journeyman-type guy. But that was in a longer fight. That was in a 12-round fight. He was winning in the 8 rounds, and then he started falling apart, venturing into grounds he wasn't used to. Well, tonight, he didn't get tested in that way because it's only 8 rounds.
It's interesting you say it, because I was at Mariki's fight up in Yonkers there, Teddy, your kid who keeps improving every time out, and you were telling me not enough guys today become even good 6-round fighters before they become 10-round fighters, right?
That's right. There's such a rush to get a guy to 10 rounds so they can go on TV that they forget to pay attention to the trade and make them a 6-round before they become an 8-round fighter. Make them a pro. And that's what I'm trying to do. I appreciate you came to that fight with Elvio Mariki. He's 13-0 now.
Got to sneak in there. Teddy doesn't want me in there.
I'm surprised he didn't have you evicted.
Oh, it was nice to see you there.
So,
as long as you're not giving instructions. If you give instructions, give them to the other guy.
Well, so far, PhilJackson is cutting off the ring a little bit here. He started to pick it up a little bit in terms of his cutting off the ring, and Klitschko just continues to jab his head off.
Jackson told us yesterday he feels that Klitschko's people made a huge mistake by allowing this fight to be 8 rounds.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Bob.
He says feels I don't have to worry about pacing myself. I know I can go hard for 8. Double jab by Klitschko. Final 10 seconds of this first round. It is scheduled for 8 rounds. These are heavyweights. The Ukraine's Wladimir Klitschko and Miami's PhilJackson here on Friday Night Fights from Las Vegas.
Time!
Never stopped quitting, Teddy, again in the big fights.
According to CompuBox numbers, Jackson did not land a punch of the 27 he threw in that first round.
That's a good point, Max. He was undefeated at the time. He was 26-0 with 23 knockouts, I believe, PhilJackson. And his first big test was, as you said, razor rudder. And he wasn't ready for it. He didn't have any medium test in between that. He went from the wading pool to the ocean. He didn't have any medium-range test to get ready for that big jump up. And I think he got his spirit taken away from him in that loss of rudder.
Take a look at the punch numbers in round number 1. Of the 22 landed by Klitschko, 20 were jabs. So he landed 20 of 40 jabs in that first round, and Jackson was an opener.
They say the difference between the Klitschko brothers is Vitaly is more of a search and destroy guy, and Wladimir is more of a boxer. But Bob, I think there's something wrong with my headset, because I thought I heard Teddy say good point before to me.
Yeah, I know.
Must be something malfunctioning.
Play that back.
Hey, you know, like they said in that movie, in that cowboy movie with Billy Crystal, it's early yet.
Okay.
It's still early.
Well, you know, that was a little CompuBox history, guys. You're going to have to maybe get the videotape of that. The only other time that CompuBox had a full round where no punches were landed was Hazienza against Roy Jones.
That'll also be the last time you ever hear Klitschko and Roy Jones mentioned in the same sentence, Bob.
As you said before, Max, his last fight, Klitschko was able to stop Axel Schultz good win and a good result. The only guy ever to stop Axel Stokes. And of course, Stokes has fought for the heavyweight title 3 times. Against Michael Moorer, George Foreman, and Fred Volk.
There's a right hand after a left that sends Jackson down here in round 2.
4, 5.
There is a
6,
3 knockdown rule in the
7,
state of Nevada.
8. How you feel?
Oh, look at that knee buckled.
Now Jackson falls down again, so that's it.
I don't like the way he just went down, Teddy. It didn't look good.
No, not... I don't know if it's the leg or if it's something neurological. Of course, we don't know.
A guy's been through a lot of fights like Phil Jackson at this point in his career, although it was only the 2nd round.
Well, Jackson told us that he quit when he felt it was time, and he might have gotten that call. His 3 sons